After a heavy episode that saw Crosshair finally cross the bridge in terms of his unflinching loyalty to the Empire, this week's episode of The Bad Batch opted for a lighter affair while clearing the way for what should be a very emotionally intense finish to the season. Call it the calm before the storm. Spoilers for PABU incoming in 3, 2, 1, go! Before diving into the review, let's first discuss this episode's clear nod to the opening scene from Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. The scenario was spot on, the camera cuts, and even the action-oriented finish, so the BB team is clearly fans of the Good Doctor. We also saw the return of a Cahoon death worm, which is the same thing Zam used in AOTC to try and kill Padme. Alright, now for the thoughts. Bad Batch seems to pride itself on not delivering heavy and emotionally charged episodes in back-to-back weeks, because while PABU was a nice detour en route to this season's final 3 episodes, it didn't quite match the reveals and narrative punches of the previous 2. It also didn't necessarily move any of the overarching plot points much further along than they were last week. Sure, the Sid split is front and center now, but that was telegraphed 2 weeks ago when they failed the Zillow mission and bailed on returning to her. One could argue that this episode showed that the Batch could settle down somewhere as a quasi-family unit, but we all know that won't last more than a week because of Sid and the Empire's goal of capturing Omega to force Nala Se into some cloning work at Tantus. What this episode did do, though, is show that the Batch is yearning for and benefits from relationships outside of their own squad. This was most evident in the budding relationship between Tech and Fee, as well as the bromance between Shep and Wrecker, and of course Omega having an actual friend her age in Lyanna. It was interesting to see these characters act in a way that isn't natural for them, or in ways we just haven't seen because they're always in conflict. Hunter also realized the good that having a home provides for the team, so PABU did coax some growth for all of our characters. It just wasn't done in an overly exciting or noteworthy way. How about some top moments? Up first, I have to go with Tech, who got all sorts of personality in this episode, starting with his quip about playing himself is the only real challenge. But the scene of note featuring him is when he pulls out his recorder device and proclaims that he is commemorating Wrecker's feat of feeling full for the first time in his life. It was just pure Tech, super dry and a bit unnatural, but his attempt at humor still shined. And the final top moments goes to the tsunami. For starters, it just looked great and once again showed how awesome the animation looks in this series. But I also just dig tsunamis and how they pull the ocean back before unleashing watery hell on anything in its path. The whole sequence was well done and provided some needed tension for this rather tame episode of The Bad Batch. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subbing to our YouTube channel. We'd also love for you to join in with our weekly Star Wars podcast. So use the links in this video's description or head to StarWarsTime.net to subscribe to the platform of your choice. There's always time for Star Wars Time, and remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time show, the Force will be with you. Always.